If you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. And don't forget, you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And I would so appreciate if you left a fabulous review on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support. And now, let's get back to the episode. Welcome back, podcast friends. So right before the break, we were talking a little bit about mostly the pros and cons about having a midweek wedding. So before we broke, we were talking a little bit about guest counts, but we wanted to kind of loop back around and talk about vendor availability. So go with it. The floor is yours.
So something interesting about vendor availability, when you think about the things that are most important on your day, if that's leading off with a specific photographer or videographer or band or DJ, and they only have certain dates open, you may choose a venue and a wedding date around their schedule. And I don't see this happen a lot, but when it does happen, I get chills because it means that that couple is already planning their wedding before they're engaged. They're looking at Instagram and TikTok and venues. They're going to their friends' weddings and saying like, whoa, that band was amazing. I want that band for my wedding. I love that photographer at my sister's wedding. I want them to do my wedding too. I want to start by checking their availability first. So these are all things when I talk to my clients, like knowing what's really important to them when they mention a vendor, I will share dates with them and have them match that up with the vendor first. And, I think about this years ago. I worked with a client. She had her eye on a specific photographer, and the dates that we had, they didn't work. So she booked a different venue to get that photographer. And I recently have worked with clients that have asked their hair and makeup people about their availability before they book that date too. That's really important to them. And one bride, she wanted to book this incredible band out of Boston. And the quote for a Saturday, it didn't fit within her total budget goal for entertainment. So just for fun, I asked her, why don't you reach back and ask about pricing on different days of the week? The Thursday rate was 50% less, and it completely fit within her budget goal. And this was her reason for hosting her midweek wedding with us at Ocean Cliff.
Right. And so what you're just saying, that sometimes people book their wedding around and their celebration around vendors availability. We definitely see that all the time. Same thing with venues. Like people, this goes back to date availability. Some people know where they want to get married, and some of the times those dates aren't available. It's the same thing with vendors. It happens to us all the time. Dan and I will have, maybe it's a sister or a brother or a friend or someone who's just been following us and just always knew that they wanted to use us. They check with us first, and and then it starts becoming like a puzzle piece for them to figure out. But usually a lot of times, if you're doing a midweek wedding, most likely all the vendors that could possibly be available. It's because it's just not as popular. And also too, a little bit about and I just want to touch upon this, and this can kind of go back into budgeting, but a little bit about vendor flexibility. So availability and flexibility. I can at least speak from myself. I know that we have a certain package because, yes, it's not as popular, but midweek weddings are popular. Not as, but are. So we have a certain package that we offer, and it's only offered to our midweek wedding couples. And so a lot of your vendors might have the same thing. They might be a little bit more flexible with what they can offer, a little bit more creative. So, for example, I have an hourly rate, which I do not have when you're getting married on the weekends. So a lot of your vendors, will be available, and also, too, might have some unique packages for you and flexibility.
So, Sarah, you and I were talking about this. Let's go back to Nairee's wedding in August, when we were talking about this midweek wedding podcast, and we're standing in the hallway. She's about to walk down the aisle, and we're like chit-chatting. You said she only booked you for a couple of hours. And I was like, she did? Oh my God, I love that. And I shared with you that my brother did that at his wedding. And that was the first time I had heard of somebody doing an hourly rated wedding. And when he told me this, I legit was like having panic for him. But I also shut my mouth because I promised him to not insert myself with his wedding planning. And guess what I learned afterwards when I saw his pictures come back from their wedding? The photographer nailed it. She got ceremony, she got all the family formals, she got this awesome group shot. And those are the ones that we framed. Like, and they just had like this simple beach wedding. So that worked for them. And when I counsel my clients about how to save money, and we talk about, yes, me, you can save all this money with me at the venue. This is what I will say to them to talk to their vendors, because some vendors do have event minimums, like floral designers and rental companies. And then other vendors like photographers, maybe because you don't have a product and it's more service based, you could be more flexible, but you're not going to do that on the weekends in the summer. And it's your choice. So I will always ask my couples to, instead of get a quote and then ask if somebody can do better with their pricing, lead off with, this is the day of the week. This is my guest count. This is my budget. I love your work. Can you help me? And then let that vendor say, yes, I can work with you in your budget, versus get a quote and then be rude and ask them for a discount off their services. Like, no, like you wouldn't do that at a restaurant.
No, and actually, for all of our listeners, regardless when you're getting married, please if you take anything from this podcast, take the words that Susanne just said. That's a really smart way of approaching your vendors. There's nothing wrong with asking your vendors, if you can work with their budget, but definitely it's a super turnoff to start getting quotes from other people and then asking to compare or beat it. Because here's the thing, everybody's service is a little different. And so if you just are open and honest with people about your budget, that all they could say is no, or they could come up with some other ideas that you may not even know that they could do. So kind of getting back to Nairee's wedding in this particular example that we're talking about, I offered her an hourly rate, and it was perfect. She needed certain things captured, and we got it captured, and we got everything that she needed done within that time. She did not lose out on any form of photography. And in fact, we actually ended up adding 1 extra hour the day of, and that was just for some other situations that we decided to do that day. But the point is, it's all about being flexible, right? And it's all about getting what she wanted, and I was able to do it for her. So I just love that piece of advice that you just gave them. It's just a great golden nugget about how to approach your vendors, no matter when you're getting married.
Yeah, absolutely. Why else host a midweek wedding? Unique experiences. Okay, we talked about this at the very beginning with the intro. Like we were talking about our schooner Aurora, right? So some packages are only offered midweek and for smaller guest counts. So when you're talking with a venue, you might have elopement packages or mini moon packages or things like that, but they might just be on those off days. So, for instance, at Regatta Place, that's our beautiful ballroom. It's a tented ballroom on the docks of the Goat Island Marina. It's located downtown Newport, but it's like super private. And we use the schooner Aurora for special ceremonies at sea for up to 68 passengers, and then a dockside reception with dinner and dancing afterwards. But it's only offered midweek on the Mondays and the Thursdays. We're just not able to offer that for the other days of the week, with our schedule and our other commitments. And Sarah, you actually photographed an intimate photo shoot with a couple on the Aurora. We have those pictures. They're stunning. I use them all the time when I show people. They're like, "Ooh, what's that?" And I remember the florals that were on. They didn't spare any expense, but it was just so much more affordable and personal and special. Yeah, I can literally see the couple and whatever. Um, Oh, and the first wedding I did like this, actually, it was for Coach Coombs. He was with the Newport Gulls. It's a summer baseball league in town. He loved the boat. We had always taken the Newport Gulls out every summer for a sail. And he wanted to use it for his second marriage somehow, but he wasn't sure how to do it. And we made it work for a Thursday in May. That worked with the baseball schedule and his grown children's school schedule and the vacation schedules. It was perfect. And it was small. It was like a 50-person wedding. It was so personal for the two of them. Oh my God, I love their outfits too. I think he wore like Nantucket reds and like a navy blue blazer. And then his wife was so cute too. She was like, "Okay, what do you think about this dress? What can I get on and off the boat in this dress?" I was like, "Absolutely." Like it wasn't a traditional wedding dress, but it was so her. It was her personality and it was stunning and it fit her perfectly. And they had the best time. So that's just something out of the box that nobody else is going to have that we offer, and it's midweek.
The other thing I wanted to kind of touch upon about this topic too, in regards to availability, is I was just thinking I had a wedding in August of this past summer, and they got married standing on their toes right on the beach, and it was beautiful. And they wanted amazing photography, and they just wanted an amazing location, which for them was the beach. Literally, they got married on the beach. And the options that were available to her, for me, I would not have been able to do something like this for her on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Either A, we were booked, or B, it's my choice, but I won't go out on those days for an hour of time. It is what it is, and there's a lot of reasons why, but it is what it is. And most of the time, it's that I'm booked. And if I'm not booked, honestly, I just want to be with my family. That's it.
It's hard to balance it all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my choice. So, but what I did do is I offered her a Thursday, and it was taken without even a second thought because of what she was looking to do. She was personally looking to do the same thing that she can do on any night of the week. There was no reception for her. It was just her vows with her closest family and friends. There was about 25 of them. She got married on the beach, and then they had a picnic after. So honestly, it's one of those things where one of my favorite things that I photographed last summer, and it was so unique and so special, and they got so many beautiful photos from it, and it was a Thursday night. And for them, it didn't matter if it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It actually worked better for their guests to have on a Thursday night, so it didn't take away from the festivities that they were actually personally having later in the weekend for the celebration, because they were going to be having a reception basically, but at a different location, not at the beach.
Love that. Okay, ready, Sarah? You talked about guest counts. And again, AI told you it's a great way to get the guest count down, because the people that matter the most are going to show up for you. So if you have a huge guest count, choosing a midweek wedding can help you cut that list. We mostly see 10 to 20% drop off from invited to actual guest attendance. And we also talked about local couples. Um, oh, yeah, so it was just this past October. One of my brides, Stormy, she hosted her Thursday wedding. Uh, but that one was actually 200 people. She had 200 people attend her Thursday wedding. And I was laughing. I was like, girlfriend, she was like, I know. They showed up. But she did have a bigger guest count, and that helped. If you have 250 people and you can get that down to 200 by doing midweek, that's going to help you. They were so happy to be there too. And she had loads of beautiful details. In fact, I specifically remember that her menu cards, she personalized every single one. I have pictures of it too. I was dying. I was like, girlfriend, who made these for you? She was like, I did. Oh my God, I love that. But yeah, guest counts. The people that matter the most are going to show up for you. You mentioned save the dates, give them time to plan. So, what we're finding right now for the people that are booking midweek for 2025, they are telling everybody about it. They want people to be there. They are running those high-low guest counts. They understand if everybody said yes, this is the cost. But they, if they do end up having less guests, their backup plan, and this is something else I'm just thinking about too. One of the reasons why some people are choosing to do midweek and have lower guest counts is so that they can spend more money on upgrades to the menu. to the bar, to the gifts that they're doing for their bridal party, to more elaborate honeymoons. It's not that they don't have the budget in some cases, it's that they want to allocate their budget towards different resources. There's new wedding vendors that are popping up, like wedding content creators that we're getting asked about for referrals. And can I do a late night party downtown? I want to do a welcome party. Fitting all of these awesome things into your total wedding budget can really be helpful when you're spending the least amount with a venue, because that's, in my opinion, I think the biggest bulk of your wedding budget spend is the venue.
So when it does come to budget in midweek weddings, there's a lot that you can do and save also when it comes to your flexibility with your budget too. And like you said, not a lot of people, I mean, there's two types of things when it comes to the budget. One, you just have a budget. But two, you might want to allocate your money just a little bit differently. So there's a lot of flexibility that you can do. So tell me a little bit about on your end, because I have a lot to share on my end for this.
Okay, budget. Budget's not a bad word, by the way. Budget is just, this is the amount of money I want to spend on this. Like Christmas, this is my Christmas budget. Car, this is my car budget. Everybody has a budget for different items in their buckets for life. And it's no different with a wedding. Lots of my wedding planner friends say the two things that are common in wedding planning with every single couple: they underestimate the amount of money it takes to plan a wedding and the time it takes to plan a wedding. So with your budget, just have a conversation with your family and friends about where's everything coming from. If the budget is the most important thing on your list, then lead every decision from that point and say, if I have $40,000 to spend on the entire wedding, maybe half of that goes to the venue. And then you have a really good amount of budget left over for everything else: photographers, videographers, entertainment, accommodations, invitations, planning services. It just goes on and on and on. And God love AI and God love the budget calculators out there, but I remember using one to plan my wedding, and I was like, this is not accurate at all. Like, it's what I forget what the line item was, but they said, like, oh, and $300 left over for your dress. And I'm like, great. Where am I going to find that? I actually did have a really good experience at Alexandra's Bridal Boutique in Fall River. Shout out to Fatima. Because I walked in and I said, this is my date, this is my budget, show me what my options are. And they're phenomenal. Same thing. Any vendor will help you and meet you where you're at with your budget.
Right. And just follow with, this is my budget and this is what I want, and see what they can come up with, versus, hey, I got this quote. Yeah. Can you match it? So going back to budget, I have a little bit to just kind of share on my end for this. I really want to squash the myth that because you're having a midweek wedding, that your wedding is not going to be as glamorous or as custom or as unique for your own wants. It's actually the exact opposite. Kind of just got done telling you about a beach wedding that I photographed, also to the wedding that you and I did at Ocean Cliff. Both weddings, in my opinion, was absolutely perfect for that couple, and they were beautiful. Some of my favorite weddings that Dan and I have ever photographed happened to be on maybe a Thursday, or I've actually even done some Tuesdays. And you know what? I've done a couple weddings on Mondays at Regatta Place, and it was unique. They took the sail, and then they had the dinner at Regatta Place. And you probably don't offer that on a weekend.
No. So that was my couple too. Do you remember? You took them to the Elms for first look photos. Do you remember that? And then they came back. Yeah, they did the boat. They did Regatta. Yeah, that was gorgeous. I mean, look at her pictures.
Actually, it was Dan who did that one. And it's funny because, so you actually just took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say, and it's ironic, I forgot that it was your couple, but This particular couple, there's absolutely no way they would have gotten that done on a weekday. And I'll tell you why. It was too many
No way. No
locations,
way.
too many locations, too many travel for a traffic on a weekend in Newport. So they would have had to change their timeline quite a bit, and that would have changed up some, logistics. And also, too, I don't even think what you offered to them would be even available on the weekends. So, with that said,
No, that
no.
was one of those unique experiences. And I honestly, like, I love those photos that you did. I share that with so many people. I'm like, look at this wedding. It's incredible.
And you never would have known ever that it was on a Monday, but their pictures were phenomenal, and they got so much of a variety. Like, I don't know any of my couples who can say that they took a sail, got to go to the mansions, and have dinner by the water on a dock. I mean,
All in the same day.
all right. So moving on. When we first started, we talked a little bit about work schedules, but let's kind of go in a little bit more detail about that in regards to the pros of scheduling.
Absolutely. So, guess what? Lots of people don't have Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 work schedules like us. Wedding pros, hospitality pros, service providers. So, midweek works for them and their friends so that they can work the weekends. I've also found that besides, a traditional Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, especially with like younger groups of people that are getting married, they all have side hustles. So it really makes no difference. Every single minute is filled with something that they're doing. So it's really important for us to make a decision that's best for us and then let our friends and family come and celebrate on our time. Like our photographer friend Oksana, she was married at Ocean Cliff on a Thursday in October. She had a small window of dates that worked in between her commitments. And I loved how she personalized different things at her wedding, like her seating chart. She did a handwritten thank you note to every single one of her guests that attended that day. I was like, girlfriend, I thought it was like, something no. It was amazing because that was important to her. And same thing, she said the same thing that everybody says to me. Oh my God, I had no idea I could afford to get married here until you have a conversation and find out that you actually can. So, also, our wedding planner friend, Sherry Klein, her son Jared and his wife Tyler, they were married on a Thursday in October a few years back. And this allowed them to have all of their favorite vendors who were otherwise already booked for those weekends because they're planners and they all work on the weekend. So they were able to come in, have an amazing experience, and then go back to work on the weekend. It really works out for so many different people in so many different areas of their life. So don't worry about work schedules. And again, we already talked about this. We get time off. Let's use it. Let's use it to celebrate. And not to be okay. All right, ready? I'm going to be like really Debbie Downer. Ugh. Um, the worst thing ever that we take time off for is to go to a funeral, and we stop our lives and we take time off to grieve someone who's not even there anymore. I personally, yes, I will take time off and go to a funeral, but I would much rather take time off and go celebrate you at one of the best moments in your life and give you my time that I worked to earn. So please invite me to your midweek event.
I just think that sums it right up right there. I love that. That's the best. That You have the best way with words. I've always told you that. You are just so well spoken. You come from the heart, and this is probably why you are so good at what you do. I could sit and listen to you all the time. There's a reason why you are on my podcast all the time. But with that said, it's time for our final piece of advice and the wrap up question. So normally, if you are a listener to the show, I have the same format for my wrap-up question. But I think with this one, I am just going to let you take the floor. You are a veteran here. What are some key points and your final piece of advice that you can give couples who are looking to seek planning on a midweek wedding?
Okay, so final piece of advice. Don't rule out a venue because you think it's outside of your budget. Reach out to your dream venue. tell them your guest count and your budget, and then ask which options are best for you. They may guide you into a different season or a day of the week or suggest a lower price menu or bar combination. It's also a really good idea to start a conversation about what's really important to you as a couple and as a family before you start your venue search. Firm up the budget and the guest count, and then determine how flexible you can be overall. So, starting off with a wedding planner can also be a smart way to maximize your time and budget, as they work with so many venues for local and destination planning. That's it. That's all the advice I got for you, Sarah.
Well, it was a lot, and this was a huge jam-packed episode, and I just think that for our listeners out there, you are just a wealth of knowledge. And I want to thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of Wedding Secrets Unveiled. You once again helped all of our listeners become one step closer to their stress-free wedding planning. Can you tell everybody who's listening where they could find you?
You can find me. Well, online, it's super easy. Just go check out newportexperience.com. Those are all the venues that I work with. And besides me, I have a great team. You can work with Galen or Amanda or Kate on our team, and we will get you started. We will have these conversations with you and guide you with everything that you need to know. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Go ahead and hit me up, Susanne Day. I mostly post about weddings and cats and gardening.
Also, too, for our listeners, we will have Suzanne's information on our episode show notes, which we will also put her AI cut and paste and see if we get it trending for better SEO on there. But anyway, so we'll also have the show notes, which you can find on our blog, which is on our website page at sarahzarella.com/podcast. So once again, I want to thank everybody for listening, and thank you, Susanne.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Dan. Love you guys.
Thank you for listening to Wedding Secrets Unveiled. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, I want to tell you something. I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. We love photographing while having fun, of course. Check out our podcast page on our website for our show notes along with upcoming episodes with your local wedding experts. Listen in as we help you plan your epic event. And don't forget that you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. I would so appreciate if you left a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support and let us know what you think. If you know any wedding experts that would like to be a guest, we have a link directly on our website where they can let us know. Thank you for listening.